to another episode of Chase for the Checkers. I'm your host, Matty NASCAR, and it is good to be back after an off week. And then it's been really a while since we've been here in the kind of studio area, just because the last couple videos that I did came live from the track at Indy, a race that probably going to be talked about for a while, but not for good reasons. Didn't have a whole lot there, not a whole lot to review. Just kind of want to move on from it, to be honest. So we're going to talk about Iowa this week. I've got a little bit of a smorgasbord of things. I've got winners, top fives, and some top tens. Flirt a little bit with the top fives. Not usually one of the bets that I go to, but there's a couple that I like there. So yeah, going to try to get this video out a little bit early because I don't know if I'm going to do, I'm actually doing this before I do a write-up, which I usually don't. But just with school starting and stuff, my wife's a teacher, and then I got a little girl who is starting school. I've just been kind of busy in my life right now, so the write-up kind of got pushed back a little bit, so may not happen this week. Wanted to at least get the video out because we are going to be busy tomorrow when I usually record and put it out. So anyways, let's jump into it, and I think I want to start with top 10s this week. Now, again, bear with me a little bit. I'm going to try to be quick, not ramble, because I don't have it all written down here in front of me like I usually do. But we're going to start off with Alex Bowman, who is at 170. Alex has not been great this year. He's obviously had the story come out that he's going to be retiring at the end of next year. But I still think that he can get a good finish here, get a top 10. He is 8th overall in the flat tracks, these similar types of tracks like a Phoenix, Iowa, Richmond, Gateway, New Hampshire, North Wilkesboro. He has a 14 place average finish since the 2025 on these tracks. He's got a speed rank of 15th overall, 15.6. And the two tracks that we have ran this year so far, he hasn't been, really stand out or great. He only ran one. He didn't run the Phoenix one. Finished 26th in North Wilkesboro. Speed rank, not great as well. But his average finish here at Iowa, he is 4th best at a 7.5 average finish. He's finished 8th and 7th here. Speed rank, he is 9.5, 6th overall. And in driver rating, he's 8th overall at 11. So I think this is a good spot for him. He seems to do well at these types of tracks. This is a good bounce back spot. Get a good finish here. Kind of start writing that narrative of he's going to try his best to finish on top this next season and a quarter or whatever it is. So I like Bowman at top 10 at plus 170. Next guy that I like is Austin Cindric in the number 2 car at plus 275 is what I have him at. Cindric was really good last year, but then kind of ran. He had like an average running position in the top 10. Something happened late. I think like a bad pit stop or something like that with some of the drama that happened towards the end. Ended up hurting his finishing position. I have that he finished. Let's see, where did he finish last year? He finished... Last year, he finished 12th. So, his average finish here is 21st at a 30th place in 2024. But he is 15th overall with an 18 place average driver rating and speed ranking. He is 14th overall with a 17. So, I think just judging based off of what he did last year, he's got a good shot. The Penske cars, I think, are going to be fast this week. You're going to see that as a narrative that I have in these picks. As far as tracks like this so far this year, so Phoenix and North Wilkesboro, he is got a, sorry, and again, I'm trying to find them all, and there's a lot of names on here. Where this boy at? He is 24th place average finish, 34th at Phoenix. I think he was caught up in a wreck. And then 14th in North Wilkesboro. So I think he's got a, he's going to be in that, I would say 9th to 15th place. So I think he's got a good, shot to sneak a top 10. But I do think those Penske's are going to be quick, and he was quick here last year as well. he had a what was it? Average speed ranking of he had a fourth place average speed ranking last year here at Iowa. So I trust that number 2 car to get it done. Let's move on to somebody else. Another Ford, Ryan Preece at plus 300 is what I got him at. Now this is going to have some recency bias, and all these picks. There's going to be a good mix of like people who have done well here this season lately, and who maybe don't have the stats here just at this track. And then there's going to be the flip side where people like Bowman, for example, has maybe not had a hot, season, but he's got good stats here, and anybody can just all of a sudden put a top 10 out there because it's a track that they're really good at. So Preece is honestly a good mix, though. So Preece comes in at an average speed rank at these types of tracks since Phoenix, number 1 of last year. He's 21st overall with a 20th place average speed rank. But he's 10th overall in average finish with a 14.3 average finish. The last 2 tracks that we have done that are the flat type of tracks, Phoenix, North Wilkesboro, again, he has been doing a speed of about 17.5 is his average speed rank. But his average finish is 11.5. He's got a 13th place and a 10th place finish. So he's another one who I think will be battling with Austin Cindric. This is one I don't think you get both Preece and Cindric. I think it'll be one or the other because they are both going to be in that same area. They're going to be, 8th, 9th to like 15th, 16th. But I think, he was really fast last year. He's really good at these short types of tracks. Think of like a New Hampshire or something like that. And I just, RFK was really good here last year as well. So I trust that he can, squeeze out a good finish, get a good run going. Something that they definitely need coming down to the wire here at the end of the regular season. Another guy that I think is going to have a good run, and this is going to be more of the recency bias, that's SVG. Now, I have him at plus 475. I think I saw that he has already dropped to like 300, so I would jump on him while you can. He did not run well here last year at all, but on these flat tracks here lately, actually, let me tell you, let me go back. SVG is 23rd overall since 2025 at these types of tracks with 21.6 average finish. Most of these, looking at Ryan from iFantasy Races, his charts here, his heat charts. If you look, green is good, yellow is decent, red, orange is towards the bad side. Most of SVG's colors on his chart are yellow, red, orange. But this year, average finish, 5th overall is SVG with an 11th place and a 5th place. Overall average is 8th. Speed rank, he is 13th with a 14th place average speed rank. He was 3rd fastest average at North Wilkesboro, where he got his best, I think one of his best oval finishes, if I'm not mistaken, at least one of his best runs on an oval. I love that number. I like what SVG has been doing. I think that he's getting better. I think we all can agree with that. So I really like that. I will be cheering for him. And I think he's got a good shot to get another top 10 here this week. Let's move on, though, up the ladder to the top 5s. I said I do have a couple top 5s. I thought about taking both of these guys to win. But ultimately, I decided not to. But I do like them to be up there in contention, to have good speed, and to potentially finish top 5. And they might even still win, but I trust them to at least get a top 5. And we'll start with the first guy that I have. That's William Byron at plus 140. Now, I've said it a million times. William Byron is cursed. He won the regular season championship last year. And the trend is, if you win that, you don't want to race the next year. So I don't think he's going to win. A lot of these places where he's been really good, look at Indy, for example, he just wasn't really there. There's been something off with Hendrick, with Chevy, and especially with that 24 team. But I do think that they can still have a top 5 speed. And I have that. I don't know if I told you what I have that at. I've got that at 140. So if I didn't, I apologize. Looking, he won here last year. He's got the best average finish because he finished second in 2024, first last year, average finish of 1.5, best driver rating, best speed ranking. All that's great. That would make you think that you should definitely take him, and it might be worth it. I just don't trust what I've seen. I'm going off of recency bias, and I just don't think the 24 can win here this week. I could definitely be coming on here Sunday night and eating my words, and if that's the case, fine, I will. But I just don't believe it right now. But I do think top 5 is definitely doable for them, especially at a track that they have been, this good at. The other guy that I have is Brad Keselowski at plus 300 to finish top 5. Now, Brad's another one who recently has not been that, great and hasn't had the best finishes, the most speed. But just based off of what he has done at this track, he has the third best average finish with a 10th and a third for 6.5 overall average. Fourth in driver rating at 6.5. And he is fourth again at a 5.5 average speed ranking. He was the second in average speed last year. So this is a good track for Brad. Probably, a race that got away from him last year. Maybe should have won. Maybe should have, could have. I know. But we look at what he has done lately, at Phoenix and North Wilkesboro. It doesn't really jump out at you. He's got an average speed rank of 17.5, but he was 7th average fastest at North Wilkesboro. And he got a 7th place finish at North Wilkesboro, so it is looking up. So I think that number 6 car, I think they still have something that they can bring to the table to really contend for top 10 for sure, top 5 probably. Winning speed, I don't know. It's going to be hard to beat those Toyotas. And speaking of, let's jump into winners. I've got mostly Toyotas, mostly B names. And there's one name on there that I'm leaving off that a lot of people are probably going to be surprised about. And that's going to be Denny Hamlin. I don't have his name on there. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to do it. That's another one just like Byron. Very good chance I just get on here Sunday night. And I'm like, well, guess who won again? Denny Hamlin. But I think his Gibbs teammates are really starting to catch up with them. They're starting to run really well, starting to run really fast. But I'm going to talk about one guy who's not a Gibbs guy. Any guesses who it's going to be? Be named Mr. Ryan Blaney. I've got him at plus 500. These tracks are his bread and butter. That's what Penske has been so good at. Phoenix, he won. North Wilkesboro, his teammate won. He's on top of the board on the average speed ranking and average finishes since 2025. He's got an average finish of 6.6. Next best is 7.8. 3.5 is his average speed rank. Next best is 5.5, and that's his teammate Joey Logano. So Penske has these tracks dialed in, and Blaney is one of the best out there, period. But especially at these types of tracks, I think Penske kind of keeps it on a roll. They've had really good finishes here lately with Logano winning and then having a third place finish. Blaney's going to be looking for some redemption after losing out on $1 million. So I really like that 12th car this week. I think he is going to be one who will be up front. And then I'm going to jump into these Gibbs cars, starting with another B, and that is Christopher Bell, who has finished second like, I don't know, 1 million times this year. Especially in the last 5 races, he's got the best average finish because he's finished second 4 times or something like that. I think he can finally get it done. He is known to be really good at these types of tracks. You look at Phoenix, for example. He runs really well there. In fact, if you look at these averages for all the flat tracks, he is 5th overall in average finish and 5th overall in average speed rank. So he's definitely one who's a contender most of the time at these types of tracks. I've got him at plus 550. A lot of places, I think, have him lower than that. I forget where I got that at. FanDuel, I believe. So I've said it before on occasions, you see these people who finish top 5, top 3 over and over again, whether it's at a certain track or just in a row like Bell has done, and eventually it's going to break your way. And I think Bell has got a really good shot. he's the only Gibbs car who hasn't won this year. That's crazy to me. Gibbs, Briscoe, Hamlin, obviously, they've all won. Bell is the only one who hasn't. I think that changes this week. But let's move on to another Gibbs guy, and it's another B guy, and that's my guy, Chase Briscoe at plus 1,000. I have that on Caesars. Chase Briscoe is another one who has been running very, very well, who's turning it up late in the end of the regular season, trying to gain as many points as he can to put himself in a position to contend for the championship. And I don't think that stops here. I think we've seen this team last year, once they get on a run, they stayed pretty hot for a while, and I think that's going to continue. Now, he's one who in 2024, when he wasn't with Gibbs, was a dud, basically. But then last year, he finished, I believe it was second. Let me find out. Chase Briscoe finished second last year. He was the third best driver rating last year, and he was fourth best average speed. So very good at these types, at this track last year. As far as since 2025, so this would be all of his time in the 19 car. He has been tied for 11th with the best average finish at 15.0, but he's got 2 seconds and a third and a 10th. So definitely knows how to get around these tracks. And again, just another one kind of like Bell, you put yourself in the position to win as much as they have. They're going to break your way. Then the next guy that I have is not a B, but he is a Gibbs, and that is Ty Gibbs at plus, I think it's 1,300, 1,400, something around there. We saw him do really well at North Wilkesboro until he had a pit penalty, put him out of contention. Now, this is one that is all based off of this year. He's got, I think the second best average finish the whole season, or at least top 4, I think. But I'm going to say he's second. And the 2 tracks that we have ran this year that are comparable to this track at Iowa, he's finished 4th both times. So his average finish is 4th. Second only to Denny Hamlin, his teammate, who is at 3.5. He is 4th for average speed rank. And, when you look at his chart as far as since 2025 and on, it's kind of like SVG, which is not as severe, where you see a lot of yellow, a lot of 20, 18, 10. But these last 2 races, it's no lie. It is a fact that Ty Gibbs has been running so much better this year. And, obviously he got his first win. He's been consistent. So all the stats show that he should be a contender, somebody who I think a lot of people just might not consider. But he's in a Gibbs car. He's one of 3 Gibbs winners this year. And, again, he's been so consistent. And just like I said with Briscoe and Bell, the more consistent you are, the more that you put yourself in those positions, the more likely you are to get a checkered flag. So those are my picks. I've got a couple names on there that I'm sure a lot of people are looking at that didn't make my list. Mention a couple of them. Denny Hamlin. I don't have Joey Logano on there. I liked him for maybe a top 5 or even to win. He's another one could jump on here Sunday, and we could start worrying about it being an even year. And is Joey Logano going to do this to us again? I don't know. I don't know if I trust that. I think I trusted Blaney or one of those Toyotas more than I do Logano, even though he won at North Wilkesboro. But that was just a hard place to pass. But those are my picks. I would love for you to comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you like any of those? Are you riding with some of those? Or are you going to go with a Denny Hamlin or a Kyle Larson or Joey Logano, one of those names that I didn't mention? Let me know below. I am Matty NASCAR. I'll be back Sunday with a post-race take show. Until then, you all have a great rest of your week. See ya.